Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a wonderful day. As I said last time, this month of May, I wanted to reflect upon a few of the fruits of the Holy Spirit and how some of these fruits can really be seen in some of our Franciscan saints and in our Franciscan tradition. And today I wanted to reflect upon three of these fruits of the Holy Spirit, these ways in which if we live according to the Spirit, we'll be able to see these fruits in our lives, and that is joy, peace, and patience. I think that for me, one of my favorite Franciscan saints is that of St. Maximilian Kolbe. I remember living in Europe and visiting the Auschwitz concentration camp, in which we all know the story of St. Maximilian Kolbe giving up his life for that man who was going to be killed in the camp, and really having that selfless love that we spoke about last week in that fruit of the Holy Spirit. But I think that the example of St. Maximilian Kolbe goes beyond just him being a martyr, just him giving up his life, having this selfless love of giving his life up for another person. I think that in my own reading and my own limited knowledge of St. Maximilian Kolbe, he really had a joy that was in his heart, and really this peace and patience that lasted and that sustained him right to the point of death and right throughout his time at Auschwitz. I could just imagine the terror and the fear and the despair that would come over someone, as they were in the concentration camp, and I'm sure for St. Maximilian Kolbe. And yet we read in many of his writings, and we see from his example, and when I personally visited there, hearing, on that tour, how even in one of the darkest places in human history, somehow St. Maximilian Kolbe was able to sing the praises of God, was able to have such joy, was able somehow to have a peace in his heart, to live peacefully, and was able to be patient even when, the Nazis were doing some horrible things and trying to kill him and really doing some horrible things around him, and that there was, death all around him. Somehow he was able to have that patience and that peace, that somehow there was something more. And I think that that's really an example for us of how to live with these fruits of the Holy Spirit, how to live according to the Spirit. I think that for me, over the past year, there's not been a lot to be joyful about. You watch the news and there's been so much hatred, so much death with the pandemic, so many dark times. I know that for me, sometimes it's taken away my peace, watching everything that's going on around me. And sometimes even patience, I want to just give up and say, is it worth it to, sustain the hope of a better tomorrow, that things will be okay. And yet I think that St. Maximilian Kolbe gives us this great example of living with this fruit of the Holy Spirit, that if we have the Holy Spirit within us, we can trust that Christ has truly conquered death, sin, evil, and that the Holy Spirit unites us with Christ, and that we can live this joy, peace, and patience that goes beyond what the world can give us, beyond, if you will, the logic of the world, and that there truly is something more. And that if we have a true relationship with God, if we truly unite ourselves with Christ each day, that is our true source of joy, peace, and ultimately patience to continue our journey and to be faithful to our promise to be Christian. So today, let us ask ourselves, as we're looking around the world, we could be like St. Maximilian Kolbe, sometimes wanting to lose hope. And yet, can we have that joy, peace, and patience that St. Maximilian Kolbe lived in his life, and so many other Franciscan saints throughout history? Let us ask the Holy Spirit that we will be enlivened in our own lives, and we will also have these fruits of joy, peace, and patience in our own lives. God bless you.